We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2079. And today, it's Monday, we're talking about the 4 career choices that you have in real estate all week this week. We're going to take each day, Monday through Friday, and talk about each of these choices. Today, we'll do a little bit of an overview. I have to admit, I sat down and wrote this bare bones script like I do every single week for Jill and I to do the podcast. And I didn't fully realize, or I guess I haven't thought about it lately, about how much of an impact the real estate industry has on all of us all the time, every day. I guess we don't think about it.
I do.
Really? You walk around thinking about real estate all the time?
I kind of do, actually. It's interesting, 2 parts. Well, to answer your question, or to follow up on your comment, I should say, I do think about it because I'm always thinking about where people are living and why they're living there. And for so many people on the planet, where they can afford to lay their heads at night dictates where they are. It often will dictate their career. People make career changes so they can afford to have fill in the blank house or, something like that. There's a lot that goes into this in our lives. The other thing I was going to say is, are you going to bring math into this? Because
sure.
I'm sure you're going to discuss, good and bad. Here's what you could make, and here's what most people make, and here's what a lot of people make, kind of thing. There's different levels of all of these.
Here's some math
choices.
to begin with.
Ready.
If you look at what your daily budget is or the budget of anything, there's really 3 things on the top of that are very expensive. We'll start with all of our personal budgets in our lives. Number 1, and not necessarily in this order, real estate. You have a mortgage or rent or whatever. That in and of itself, that tells you that if a lot of money's coming out of our pockets every month, it's going somewhere. And we'll talk all about where it's going. Number 2, healthcare. Real estate, healthcare, and education are the 3 largest budget items that we all have. And it's what the governments have. Those are the 3 largest items for the government. So
hold on a moment. I know a lot of people that have cars in there. Not that I'm not saying that it's good or bad. I like your math better. I know a lot of people that are upside down and they do cars. I'm sure you know this. Cars, real estate, fun. Seriously, this is where the world is upside down right now. I'm not kidding. If you go on Facebook or social media, it looks like cars, entertainment, then real estate, and then food, clothing, and then somewhere at the bottom is education and healthcare. They're like way low.
They're optional.
Yeah.
Education and healthcare are optional.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say, well, you know what? For someone who's 21 years old, that's very true. So we may know some people like that. Like, jeez. But no.
Real estate actually as an expense is optional for a lot of people now, especially in a big city.
How is it like you live with your
just
parents?
Live out on the sidewalk.
Oh, well, that's true.
And it's free.
I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Where did this go just now?
I don't know. This went somewhere I wasn't planning.
You can always count on Jill to take us to a place, almost out of the chute, take us to a place that is completely unintended on this show.
Well, thank you for saying unintended and not saying unimportant, because I thought that's what you were going to say. All right, back to it.
So here's the 4. There are, and we'll talk about, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of thing. Tuesday, we're going to talk about the landlord model. That's an obvious choice. You buy a house or you buy something, you rent it. And there's some huge benefits and some, depending on your personality type, there's pros and cons to all of these things. On Wednesday, we'll talk about real estate flipping model, which is Jill, our preferred model. And it's what Land Academy is all about. And how Jill and I take it even a step further. In the back of my head, every time I look at any type of business model with anything, I think, how fast and easy is it? How fast and easy is it for me to create equity for myself? And flipping, I don't think anybody can deny, is the fastest and the easiest.
But we have to tell you, we're not talking rehab. We'll fill you in more.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Friday.
Okay.
On Thursday, we'll talk about the real estate service industry, all the people that are involved in trying to get their fingers into your real estate deal. Real estate agents, real estate, everything from handyman to, it's too many to mention. And we'll mention them all on Thursday for sure, but company of mortgage brokers, the actual mortgage company, title agents, all real estate managers, people who manage rental portfolios. There's a huge service industry that keeps people employed, surrounded by the real estate deals that you do. You can choose to get involved in that and make some dough for yourself. And Friday, finally, the modern construction industry, which means developers, contractors, subcontractors, construction workers. By the way, it's my favorite. I mean, where would we be without construction? And worldwide, in the universe, where would we be without it? We're not heavily involved in it, although we are involved in it, and Jill and I will talk about that on Friday. It's not the fastest way to make money, but geez, you can create some amazing equity for yourself and feel good about it. Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum, and we take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular request. Jill, let's take a question.
Okay. Dalton wrote, "Hello, Land Academy team. My goal is to be more precise with the records I'm pulling. After selecting a county and applying filters for vacant land, I'm left with over 1,000 records, which is great. However, I need to manually remove certain parcels. For example, those that can only be identified visually, such as actively farmed land, and this requires the record count to be under 1,000. The problem is that to avoid being charged $100, I have to export at least 1,000 records at a time. That's a free Land Academy thing, by the way. But I'm unable to visually review more than 1,000 records at once. Does anyone have a workaround for this or a more efficient method?"
I do. I have a workaround for this. And Dalton, I'm not picking on you, but I'm super glad you asked this question because I think it's going to clarify the process of pulling data and reviewing data and getting it from the point where you pull it, that decision that you make to pull records and which ones you pull, and what actually goes in the mail. For some people, it's daunting. For me, it's obviously not, only because I've done it a million times. And so here's the deal. Number one, please review the Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 in Land Academy 3.0. I go through this process in what Joe would call painful delivery. The records, listen, here's the deal. Data is really cheap. In fact, we make it free, but sending the mail is very, very expensive. I would highly recommend that you go to wallstreetprep.com and take an Excel course. Many, many people have taken it in our group and they've all come back. I've never heard anything bad about it. You should not be limiting yourself in any way to how many records you pull and analyze and reduce from a number standpoint when you get ready for a mailer. I pull the entire county, every single record in a county, like Maricopa County, where we are right now in Arizona. That's 30 or 40 or 50,000 records. It's not that expensive.
So that was what I was going to say. I'm wondering too, I wonder how big is this county? It could be a very small county that doesn't have a lot of property. So I'm curious if he's accidentally already having too many things going on before he even hits the download button.
We're in Career Path right now, and we have multiple people in Career Path that have taken Career Path in the past.
Mm-hmm. Repeat.
One of the guys' name is Chris, and he has reminded me that the last Career Path that he was involved in, I said this sentence: Land Academy and land investment in general, and really real estate investment, is not a place where you want to sit down and try to really save money. Save money on your mortgage, save money on your kids' birthday presents. Drive an old car. There's a lot of ways to save money. This is not one of them.
Not on your wife.
And do what you need to do with your wife. I don't know. I've never figured it out. So if you have figured that out, please email me at
I make up for it myself.
jack@landacademy.com. If you have a podcast with your wife, please email me at jack@landacademy.com and ask me how that's going.
Well, we are explaining how yours is going. Yeah, that's funny. Okay.
Everybody pulls a ton of data. Who's successful at this pulls a ton of data, really reduces it. There's a lot of waste. really reduces the amount of records that they're actually going to send mail to, because that's just how it is. That you can't, I understand.
Nature, for some reason. Why is that?
I understand praying to the efficiency god. I'm a middle-aged man. I get it. Efficiency is how and why I live and get up in the morning for a huge degree of it. You have to pull all the records, get in there, and however you reduce all of those records into your target is how you do it. I have a real set way, and it's proven that it works, and that's what we teach. But it might be different for you. People in career path, I've never had anybody in career path, and these are people that make millions of dollars a year, come to me and say, I pull too many records. It's just not. So I understand your point. In a perfect world, if you're going to do a 4,000 unit mailer, you download 4,000 records and you look at them and you mail it. And that will never happen. You're going to pull a ton of data of all different types. It might be vacant land, it might have houses on it, but depending on what you're trying to accomplish with that mailer, you're going to have to extract all the anomalies in the data set and send out to your target. So I understand your frustration, and it's a great question. The answer is in Land Academy 3.0. Today's topic, the 4 career choices you have in real estate. Jill and I are going to go through them.
I feel like there's 40. How did you narrow it down to 4?
Well, because they're subsets.
Okay, got it. And so, I thought, I didn't know where we fell. So you have us falling in the Wednesday group.
We are, our bread and butter is flipping land.
Right.
It says Land Academy right in the title, Jill. I
realize that. But we need to explain this a little bit. So, like, when you threw me, I got to say, when I sat down and looked at the topics, not that you did anything wrong here. I would just clarify that. I thought when you put flippers, I thought you meant, I was thinking like rehabbers. I didn't think of me in that category.
So,
I understand where you're going.
I'll explain it.
Oh, I know what it is. So you don't have to explain it to me, but you could.
Here's the landlord.
To the planet.
Here's the 4.
All right, give us the overview and then we can.
4 career choices you have, whether you're long time in the industry or just starting out.
Okay.
You can choose the landlord model. And then there's all kinds of forms of landlords. You buy property. Maybe it's a SFR, single family residence. Maybe it's a massive Class A apartment building. Maybe it's a skyscraper in Manhattan. Might be triple net properties, Chick-fil-A, triple net properties that where you own the real estate, and obviously Chick-fil-A or whomever owns the operation. There's a ton, too many to list, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow, but they all have one thing in common. You secure the real estate in equitable title and you rent it out. There's 2 huge, amazing benefits to that. Now you have income every month, and you have an equity, a balance sheet type equity increase. Hugely attractive for the right personality type. Number 2, flipping is what we do. You buy or secure a piece of real estate and you sell it for more. And the whole point is to buy it inexpensively as you can, and resell it theoretically for as much as you can. That's not necessarily our specific model. You get in and out real fast. You get tired of it for a few months. You can stop doing it. There's no real
true.
There's a lot of benefits for our personality type. Jill and I may not come out on the podcast, but Jill and I really agree on this. It's an in and out situation, and we're just wired for it, both of us, for whatever reason.
True.
Number 4, the service industry. We talked about this just a few minutes ago. There's so many people involved in the management and the changing of hands of real estate, starting with real estate agents, which we know all about, real estate property managers, and on and on. And then finally, construction. And this, this is, I think that construction chooses you. You don't choose that career. All the people I know that are people that love construction. It could be the people that on HGTV that love design. You could be a plumber. You could be everything from a regional mall developer, and on and on and on. So there's tons of construction types, and we'll talk about that on Friday. But there's a lot of ways to make money in real estate. The best way in the end, here's a spoiler alert, is to be involved in all of them, which we are to some degree.
Excellent.
Join us tomorrow where we discuss, it's Tuesday, and we're going to talk about analyzing the landlord model in real estate. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.